Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome to Berlin!
Ich bin ein Berliner. That's already what John F. Kennedy said in the 60s, and that's true for at least me. I am a Berliner by birth. Caitlin lives here for a while now, and I'm gonna take her through the city for some touristy stuff, maybe also learn a little bit.
Yeah.
And we thought, why not just take you with us? Because maybe you plan a trip to Berlin the next time, or you just want to see what's there to see and then plan a trip here.
Yeah, so hopefully you feel inspired after this. So let's get to looking.
And let's go. Our first stop is the East Side Gallery. At 1.3 kilometers long, this is the largest section of the Berlin Wall that is still standing.
After the fall in 1989, 118 artists from 21 countries were commissioned to paint sections of the wall, and it's functioned as an open-air art gallery ever since.
The paintings comment on the political changes in 1989 and 1990, and as you walk along the gallery, you'll be standing in the former east side of Berlin.
Once you've finished strolling along the wall, you can spend some time relaxing next to one of Berlin's rivers, the Spree.
Next up, the RAW-Gelände, a hub for street art, cultural events and clubbing.
If you come from somewhere like New York City, when you hear clubbing, you often think of women in short skirts and sky-high heels. But since Berlin is techno-based, the vibe is much more t-shirts and tennis shoes. And honestly, thank God, because look at this floor.
There's clubs here that are fun in the daytime, but most of the events happen after dark. One famous feature of this area is the Teledisko booth. For €2, you get to pick a song and have your own private dance party. Let's head inside.
Nice and tight. Hey. Whoa! I think we're done.
It's warming here.
Yeah, he jumped all in my face. Is it over?
Over.
It doesn't say anything. Ooh, the daylight. Oh. Und ist auch groß, ne?
Each time Jörn and I have come to an event down here, we're always sure to take some pics in the photo booths. They look like they're not in service, but they've worked every time.
Quick interruption, if you want to have vegan food in here. Was ist mit vegan? Which basically means, what about vegan?
Yeah,
So good. Vegan dinner,
it's very good.
fries.
We're not having any of it today, but we've had it before. Chef's kiss.
Recommend.
Weiter.
Much less niche, we're moving to a hub of travel and shopping that has something for everyone. Alexanderplatz.
Take a trip around the world at the Weltzeituhr, or World Clock. Or spend some time in the square, where different events are hosted almost weekly.
And just 2 blocks away, you can see the famous Fernsehturm, or TV tower, right next to the Rotes Rathaus, Red Town Hall. You can also head to the top of the TV tower for a panorama view of the city, or grab a bite to eat in the restaurant.
If you're into museums, this next trip of Berlin will be your dream come true. Walking up Bodestraße, with the TV tower now behind you, you'll enter Museumsinsel, or Museum Island, one of the most important museum sites in all of Europe.
It's a Liegewiese. You're supposed to lay on it. I didn't do that, but... Look at this ballerina trying to get you the best shot of all the cool stuff in Berlin. A little heel click. That's dedication.
Five museums are officially part of the island, as well as the Berliner Dom, the Lustgarten Park, the James Simon Gallery and the Humboldt Forum, which is located in the reconstructed Berlin Palace.
Can I tell you a very quick story? On the Lange Nacht der Museen, where you can get into museums for free or you need a ticket or something, I don't know. The ticket or the line to get into this museum, everywhere you see columns, there were people standing. There's no freaking way you're ever going to get into this museum, so just buy the full price ticket on a normal day. Pro tip, don't do it.
The Alte Nationalgalerie is particularly popular by photographers and people attending big events like prom or their wedding. In the 5 minutes we spent there, we saw 3 different brides. In 1999, Museumsinsel was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its testimony to the architectural and cultural development of museums in the 19th and 20th centuries.
No longer on Museumsinsel, but still a notable museum, we have the Tränenpalast. What was once a border crossing point between East and West Berlin, its name translates to the Palace of Tears because of all the hard goodbyes that took place there. Nowadays it's a free museum highlighting the Cold War and the reunification of Germany.
Moving into the governmental district, our next notable building on our tour is the Reichstag, or Imperial Assembly. Recognizable due to its big glass dome roof, this building houses the German Bundestag, which is the group of people responsible for lawmaking in Germany. It's also the meeting place of the Federal Convention, which elects the president.
Two guys in suits. I've been looking for people in suits because we're near all the political buildings, and I found 2 guys in suits on the bench. Wow. I bet you they're important.
We're on the way to Brandenburger Tor now, but before getting there, it's important to note there's almost always some kind of event happening here, which makes it worth a visit every time you're here, because it's sure to be a new experience. On this particular weekend, it was a festival with a focus on sustainability.
And there she is, the Brandenburger Tor, or Brandenburg Gate. Erected on the site of a former city gate that marked the beginning of a road leading out of Berlin, it's now one of the most remarkable sites in all of Germany.
On the south side of the Brandenburger Tor, you'll find the Denkmal für die ermordeten Juden Europas, or the Memorial for the Murdered Jews of Europe.
It's obviously hard to tour Germany without running into some kind of dark history, and these concrete slabs were apparently designed to produce an uneasy or confusing atmosphere. Eisenmann, the architect, has left much up to interpretation, so the most common thought is that this resembles a graveyard, but Eisenmann himself has denied this as his intention.
quick side note, back in GDR times, East Berlin was distinguished by its interesting street signs, called Ampelmännchen, or the Little Crosswalk Men. Today, you can buy merch featuring the little dudes.
So far on our trip, we've been quite concrete-centric, so you may be surprised to learn that Berlin is actually a very green city. With 2,500 parks and over 1 million trees, if you need a break from the hustle and bustle, you'll definitely be able to reconnect to nature.
One of the best parks for a mix of city and nature is Mauerpark, which got its name from its proximity to the Berlin Wall. Particularly known for its street musicians and open-air shows, you're bound to be entertained while breathing in some fresh air.
Plus, on Sundays, they've got a huge Flohmarkt, or flea market, that's definitely worth a stroll, and sometimes you'll even see karaoke right here on this square. But first, let's check out some magic.
Our next green space is Tempelhofer Feld.
What in the 1700s was a farming field changed to a military area in the 1800s and was then turned into the Tempelhof Airport in 1922. But by 2008, the airport was shut down due to the construction of Berlin's newest airport, BER International, and for 2 years the field was not in use at all. This prompted a protest called Squat Tempelhof, which demanded the space be available for civilian use.
And it worked. In 2010, the gates were officially opened to the public and Tempelhofer Park was formed. Nowadays, you'll find people running, cycling, dancing, kite flying, basketballing, you name it, on the old runways, making it a great place to enjoy a sunny afternoon.
And even greener, just a short bike ride away, you'll find Viktoriapark. Located in the neighborhood of Kreuzberg, which literally translates to Cross Hill, this park features the tallest natural hill in Berlin, standing at 66 meters. And the peak itself is exactly in the center, hence the name.
To get to the top, you get to walk along the stunning waterfall. And once up there, you'll find the Nationaldenkmal für die Befreiungskriege, or Prussian National Monument for Liberation Wars, and a really great bird's eye view of Berlin.
Heading back into more city-centric sites, our next stop is Checkpoint Charlie.
This is the best-known Berlin Wall crossing point between East and West Berlin during the Cold War.
By 1961, 3.5 million East Germans had left the Soviet-run Berlin, and since so many of them were highly educated physicians and lawyers, teachers, and skilled workers, the Soviets erected the Berlin Wall to prevent more citizens from leaving. Consequently, Checkpoint Charlie became one of the only ways in and out of East Berlin.
You can learn more about it by reading through the free history lessons written along the neighboring walls. But since we're back on the topic of the Berlin Wall, as you walk around Berlin, you may notice this path of cobblestones. They mark the path of the original Berlin Wall as a reminder of what once was.
And if you follow it a bit to the west, it'll lead you to other old pieces of the wall, standing at our next stop, Potsdamer Platz.
Vorsicht, that's not free candy.
You stink.
Potsdamer Platz is another great hub of cultural events, restaurants, and shopping, and this section of the skyline gives you the most modern city feeling in all of Berlin.
From here, you can take a stroll through Tiergarten Park, which eventually lands you at our next notable landmark, the Siegessäule, or Victory Column.
Dating back to 1864, this monument was built to commemorate the Prussian victory in the Second Schleswig War, but by the time it was inaugurated in 1873, Prussia had 2 new victories in the Unification Wars, which came with the addition of the sculpture of Victoria on the top.
And if you've got some extra time, you could head back into Tiergarten Park to visit the Bellevue Castle, which is the official residence of the president.
For those who'd like to add some animals to their trip, a visit to the Berlin Zoo could be in order. But pro tip, if you don't want to pay to get in, head into the nearby mall, Bikini Berlin, because on the back terrace, you can get a free view of the monkeys.
If Fifth Avenue in New York City or Champs-Élysées in Paris is your jam, then Kurfürstendamm is the right street for you. Lined with high-end shopping and 5-star restaurants, this is the perfect area for feeling fancy, or in our case, feeling out of place.
The biggest draw of this area is the Kaufhaus des Westens, or the shopping mall of the West, or for short, KaDeWe. It seems like not one brand isn't somehow featured in this multi-story shopping experience, and there really truly is something for everyone. Even race cars, apparently.
And if all that shopping has made you feel famished, well, not to worry, because the entire 6th floor is full of food vendors. With everything from pre-packaged goods to freshly baked cakes and cookies, you'll even find things like wine, spirits, caviar, and a champagne bar.
If you haven't found the right way to wet your whistle and satisfy your hunger after a trip here, we fear nothing can help you now. And once you're ready for a break from the people and the food, head up to the top floor for another great free view of Berlin.
And now to the final stop of our tour, our home away from home, Olympiastadion. Originally built for the 1936 Summer Olympics, it is now the largest stadium in Germany for international football matches.
During the day, you can book a guided tour which will take you to the more restricted areas and teach you about the history. And at night, you're almost guaranteed to run into an event here, whether that's a Rammstein concert or a Hertha soccer game.
And by the way, if you've got tickets to a Hertha game, be sure to reach out to us, because Kate and I are volunteers at each game and we'd love to come say hi.
Okay, of course you can't cover everything in one video, but I think we gave you a pretty good head start for your bucket list to come to Berlin.
Absolutely. If you feel inspired to visit, don't forget to write us. We'll give you some good recommendations. And if you've already been here and we missed something that you think, oh, this absolutely has to be visited, write that also in the comments below for other humans.
Otherwise, like, subscribe, and share it with your friends.
That's right.
We see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.